with 21 kiloton.
journalist from Forbes that happened to be a buddy of one of the community managers, who I found via his Twitter account. I'm not shitting you. Every last motherfucker Ubisoft could leverage released some kind of video or news article along the line of, "The Division is finally goddamned perfect now." All these media offerings offered the same identical narrative of, "It was a rough ride, but finally now it's working perfectly." And they all pretty much went like this.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan here, and this is the Turbo Scrub.
By the Division.
Oh, were you taking a shower? Sorry, I didn't know. I figured I'd just come in and start cleaning the place up. But don't worry, I'm not going to look at you. There's no way I'd be able to unless I had a turbo scrub.
By the Division.
This piston-like motion sends a shockwave of energy throughout the body, and the patented protein spout delivers a spurt of tasty goodness in your mouth.
By the Division.
Make sure the patented protein spout is pointed directly at your mouth. Otherwise, you might get a protein shot to the eye.
By the Division. Seriously, it was like an unironic joke proving the existence of Game Journo pros of Gamergate fame. The internet was flooding with infomercials chanting the same fucking mantra of "The Division had its problems in the past, but now it is perfect and you must buy it." Then, a matter of weeks later, the lead designers are sitting on the State of the Game couch full of spunk and fucking cocaine, happily announcing not only that the Division 2 is close enough to completion that they're going to be doing a reveal at E3 later this year, but significantly, that sadly the underlying mechanics of the Division are so fucked, the only choice they had was to rebuild it from the ground up for the Division 2. They say the only choice was to shit-can the Division and make the Division 2 completely from scratch. A decision which, given the fact that the Division 2 is nearly finished, was almost certainly made right back near the start of the Division's launch. Another financial implication of this decision is that we are all going to have to spend all over again. The customer has to repurchase the game, repurchase the DLCs, repurchase all of the vanity items, repurchase all of the fucking shit we gambled for in the pedo caches. We're going to lose it all, and we're going to be forced to stick our hand in our pocket all over again, even though, let's face it, all of the data of the vanity items is probably just going to be copy and pasted over in batch files in about 30 minutes, just like Destiny 2 did. So what is the Division paradox? Well, in January, we're being told that the Division is finally fucking perfect and working as intended, and people are being encouraged to buy it. But in March, we're being told that the Division is such a piece of broken ass shit that the only way to make the Division 2 is to shit-can the Division, take all of our purchases from us, and sell us an entirely new game built from the ground up. Well, which is it? Is the Division finally perfect? Or is it so broken and unfixable that they need to sell us an entirely new game? Both of these facts cannot be simultaneously true. It's simple fucking logic. In order for one to be true, the other has to be fucking false. The Division is either fucking perfect now, or the Division is so fucking broken it needs to be replaced. Which is it? Well, it would appear the Division seems to be finally perfect when they want people to buy that game, and the Division seems to be broken as all fuck when they want people to buy the new game. I guess that is logic according to the sales department. On a cautionary note, I hope to God they don't fucking Bungie themselves. They have gambled the house on an excuse. They are making a new game because they are claiming specifically that they cannot fix all of the problems without starting afresh with a new version of the Frostbite engine, rebuilding the game from the ground up. Well, dear Lord, if that's their fucking justification, when it finally launches, all the problems need to be fixed, right? If the only way to fix all of the problems and make it all work perfectly is to build an entirely new game, logic would fucking dictate, they have now gambled their credibility on the Division 2 having all the problems fixed and working perfectly. They said it, not me. They are going to make a completely new game. Fuck New York down the shitter, take away all of our purchases, DLCs and microtransactions and charge us all over again. Because it's the only way to fix all the problems. Well, in a year or so's time, when the Division 2 launches, I hope they end up holding up their end of the fucking bargain. They are playing the Destiny 2 gambit here. If, just like Destiny, they're going to take away all of our fucking toys for the promise of a better tomorrow, then the Division 2 has to be more and greater than the Division, and run better to boot. I just hope they chose a good location for the Division 2. My suggestions would be Blackpool or Magaluf. They're both atmospheric, violent shitholes, worthy of any Division title, and far more dangerous than the city of New York. The other big surprise is the announcement of the Year 3 roadmap. This is a whole bundle of fun, mainly involving having a fuck ton of global events thrown at us, with maintenances scheduled in the middle of all of them. I won't lie, this sudden interest in giving us lots of nice stuff seems to have more to do with maintaining player morale and boosting online stats for investor meetings, whilst it slowly sinks into the player base that everything you are grinding for will all end up in the shitter at the end of the year. The good news is, we will finally have better drop rates of classified gear and more focused options for purchasing them. The bad news is, this is happening far too late and after most of the global events action is over. The brief summary of the roadmap is this. In a nutshell, we're getting lots of global events, 2 new legendary settings on missions, 2 new global events, the Xbox One X patch, and we get to grind shields, which from what I gather means if you do lots of achievements in the Division 2, when you lose all of your vanity items, you will win a fucking shoe and a fucking scarf as compensation. Nice! That's like being robbed blind and the thief giving you your bobble hat back. Thanks for that, I guess. My immediate observation would simply be this. Please stop having maintenances every single fucking GE. You always time the maintenances smack bang in the middle. For fuck's sake, please stop doing that. I can't work out whether this is a big finale or it's just someone being nice because they want something from us. Year 3 content is such an obvious attempt to boost player engagement stats, it's a farce. It's like your girlfriend suddenly doing all the housework, giving you spontaneous blowjobs when you haven't showered, and bringing you breakfast in bed in the morning for no fucking logical reason. You just know she's about to ask you for a new fucking car. You can't just put on a good show when you want something. That sends one fucking message. The second you get what you want, i.e. our money, you will fucking slack off again. I guess my issue with the Year 3 roadmap isn't that it's shit. It's actually looking pretty good. My issue is the question, why only now? Why couldn't the Division have been this full of activities all along? Why only bother to fire up the sound system and start the party now that we know the asteroid is about to strike? So what are my personal highlights from recent State of the Games? They finally gave Lemenzi the love he deserves and showed off some of his Division artwork.
Yeah, you literally wrote, no stats with Yannick, exclamation point, sad.
Yes. So, since we don't have any stats with Yannick, I think we should start with a very nice picture that was shared with us from the Vinci to kind of make up for the fact that we don't have a stats with Yannick this week.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's very, very beautiful. I love how the calculator actually says the division on it.
Oh, does it?
Yep. So in a world of numbers, he has the answers.
Tom Clancy's statistic man.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's make it a game. Easy. Boom.
Yeah.
Lemenzi does all the quality artwork for my channel and is almost certainly the most prolific Division artist. They have one of his posters up on the wall in Evil Petter's office. Copies of Playgirl have been circulated around Massive's HQ in Malmo. He created the Princess Hamish artwork. Christ, the list is fucking literally endless. He's a die-hard Division player, a superb artist, an essential contributor to my channel, and probably the most prolific creator of Division artwork since the game began. I reckon he would be a perfect candidate for Ubisoft star player. If he had just decided to spend time on social media, trolling and insulting people that question the introduction of microtransactions into the game, I reckon he would have nailed it. Integrity comes with a heavy price in the Division. For what it's worth, both me and the supporters of the channel think you're a fucking legend, Clancy, and thank you for your stoic support. Yannick commented on the PTS. His words were, "Thank you to the 12 people who actually went there." No fucking shit. No feedback is ever implemented. The PTS is now a publicity stunt. You held it during a cunting global event. Of course nobody gave a shit. What the fuck were they thinking? They also announced that they want to promote streamers so people are invited to send in clips. This seems to be part of a wider drive to promote community content. I think this is fucking brilliant. I'm going to send them in a clip of me playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. Remember that game? It's the game that lots of reviewers trashed because it launched just before Far Cry 5, used the same game engine, was half the price, 10 times the fun, and didn't have fucking pedo caches. I made a video about it actually.
You can stick your money up your arse, you fucker. Ah!
Yannick and Evil Petter gave a special thanks to the moderator team for the Division Twitch channel. For those of you who don't know, the moderator team are the lovely people who delete all your comments and ban you if you mention anti-cheat, laggy servers, or the Cronus Max during the state of the game. Just to settle this issue once and for all though, the other day Hamish was promoting the use of an eye tracker in another Ubisoft game. There is fucking zero chance they will ever do anything about stopping people exploiting on console with Cronus Max if a community manager is fucking promoting cheating with eye trackers. They don't have any fucks to give. Evil Petter was expressing his dismay that he doesn't own a house yet. Well, for a guy that only got 2 classified items in a previous global event, my advice would be, play the game for more than 2 hours a month? Just a wild fucking guess. Yeah, that would definitely do it. Play the game from time to time. Strangely, I don't know anyone who barely plays the game who has a house either. Whilst we're on the subject, my golden moment in recent State of the Games was Evil Petter showing us a cosplay picture and waxing lyrical about this being his favourite cosplay picture ever. So let's take a look for ourselves and see if we can use a little bit of art theory and critical analysis to deconstruct the image so as to illuminate the specific qualities that Petter finds so alluring and attractive. Girl squatting, child's toy, alcohol. Awkward? Moving quickly on. Well, the breaking news on the financial markets is that Vivendi is now not going to take over Ubisoft. The results aren't all in yet, but it appears something like this. Vivendi was trying to buy up a 30% share in Ubisoft in order to trigger some French law that meant they were allowed to force a hostile takeover. Ubisoft cut some deal with Vivendi, who agreed to abandon their plans of total global domination by selling its shares at a premium value to an investor group comprising of Tencent, the biggest investment company in Asia, and the Toronto Teachers Pension Fund. This sale is done under the condition that they are limited in what they can do with the shares. Vivendi won't buy any more for 5 years, or buy those shares back. So in theory, Ubisoft keeps its independence, Vivendi gets a big giant fuck pile of cash, Ubisoft gets another big pile of cash, Tencent expands its holdings abroad, Ubisoft gains access to Chinese markets. This, in theory, looks as close as you can come, as they say in the massage industry, to a happy ending, subject to 2 significant factors. 1. I'm sure a ton of private contractual agreements were made behind closed doors. Let's hope Ubisoft didn't trade its soul to get the deal done. And 2, for those of you who don't know, those lucrative Chinese markets are at high risk since China, that small country down there, is probably about to trigger World War III. Basically, China decided that the 200-mile territorial waters off its coast doesn't mean this. They handed a crayon to a child and they decided it meant this. Now they have built a string of artificial islands there, mainly in the Spratlys, and built military bases on them. I'm kind of old-fashioned and decided to call this an invasion. I just thought I'd bring that up. I would like to think that in my own small way, I contributed to this happy outcome. I'm sure my presence made the acquisition of Ubisoft stock just that tiny little bit less appealing to Vivendi. Just saying. I'd also like to give full dues to UberTimmeh, who organised a massive charity stream raising money for the Starlight Foundation. The Starlight Foundation do amazing and compassionate work for kids. They offer support and respite for seriously and terminally ill children. Credit to them and congratulations for raising a huge sum for such a commendable cause. Links down below. The event was a resounding success, despite an attempt to sabotage the affair, in what can only be described as one of the worst fucking PR fiascos in Ubisoft history. And I mean, by now, fucking hell, that's a tough league to compete in. One of its own elite task force members, who shall, out of respect, remain nameless, decided it would be fucking hysterical to try and sabotage the event by 4-on-1 stream sniping one of the stream participants, whilst he was trying to raise money to help little children with cancer. Yeah, let's rewind that one so we can soak that up in its full fucking glory. Representatives of Ubisoft's own elite task force decided to try and sabotage a charity event raising money for a kiddie cancer charity. Kiddygate has polarised a lot of the community. Half the community are somewhat mortified that a member of the ETF would behave in such a cold-hearted, sociopathic and malicious way just to settle a score with another smaller YouTuber. The other half of the community thinks this is a big storm in a teacup. It was just a bit of a lol that coincidentally involved a charity stream raising money for terminally ill children. There are two sides to every story, and I'm sure this is no exception. It's not impossible that the guys ambushing the charity stream genuinely thought it was all just a bit of innocent fun. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. They thought it was just a bit of innocent kiddie cancer related fun. In their defence, the person who organised the stream sniping did eventually stop after receiving complaints from the organisers of the charity event. And in all fairness to him, not all of the kids that the charity helps are terminally ill with cancer. Some might actually survive, and some of the terminally ill kids are dying from something completely different from cancer. So simply describing the incident as an ETF member ambushed a charity stream raising money for dying kids is, in all fairness, an overstatement. Technically. But not by fucking much. He also went on to offer one of the most truly heartfelt, lyrical and compassionate apologies I have ever seen, which convinced me at least that in his heart he knew he had done something profoundly hurtful and damaging. The words he wrote were these: "Just having a bit of fun, man." Face with tears of joy emoji. No hard feelings. I think there was also a follow-up quote on Twitter, some other joke about it, and a comment along the lines of, "Too soon, lol?" Given my shitty track record and low personal standards, I'm not exactly qualified to give anyone advice on how to behave. But if I had two pieces of sound life wisdom to pass on to future generations of gamers and fuckwits, it would be this: never include insults and or emojis in an apology, and 2, if your fucking master plan for the evening contains the words children, cancer and sabotage, then you might want to rethink your life choices. Just saying. I don't know the history of the beef between these two guys, so I'm not going to pass judgment. The community is smart enough to do that for itself, but I would say this. I think it's very sad that as a community there is so much self-destructive spite between its different constituent parts that not even a fucking charity stream for a children's hospice is safe from being sabotaged by opposing factions. Fucking hell, even in real wars, most armies at least try and avoid bombing schools. They don't bomb schools for lols. This was an event raising real money for real kids. As a community, we have our differences, but we are better than this. I subscribe by the old-fashioned code that whatever your beef with someone, you keep kids, wives, personal lives and sickness out of the equation. This ticked 2 of those boxes. To throw in an age-old fucking piece of wisdom that we should all consider, when a community is being encouraged to fight amongst itself, it's worth taking a step back and trying to evaluate who is going to benefit from the chaos. Well, that's basically the news from March. We're getting a fucking artillery barrage of global events, maintenances, a few promised patches, and our slow and inevitable slide towards, as Yannick so perfectly described it, the end. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate everyone who was selected by Ubisoft for being star players and invited to E3 to see the Division 2 reveal. There doesn't seem to be any official list, so I don't know everyone who's been invited. What I can say is this. Some of the Ubisoft star players are people I know. They deserve it, and I'm glad you're representing the community because you are our best and finest. Some of you I've congratulated in person already. Some of you I haven't caught up with yet, but well done. Some of the Ubisoft star players are people I only know from being part of the social media brown shirt fucks best known for sucking off Ubisoft by promoting microtransactions and pedo caches and behaving like Stasi cunts to anyone who dares to criticise them either on Reddit, Twitter or the forums. Business is business, I guess. There was a cocksucking competition and you had the most blistered knees. I hope you sleep well at night. In fact, I'm sure you do sleep well at night. You don't have a conscience to keep you awake. Lastly, there were also a fair few people that definitely should have been selected and didn't. God forbid, there were even some ETF members that shockingly didn't get an invite, who, in my humble opinion, definitely deserved one. But don't tell anyone I just said something nice about the Elite Task Force. I have my reputation to maintain. Well, enjoy the death throes of the Division. And on your travels, if you meet anyone who gives you an excuse about why something isn't fixed, just calmly reply, any chance one of the thousands of developers working on the Division 2 might find time to fix it? But for now, good luck, and happy hunting.